All right, game one. Let's see what went down. All right, so back on Atomic. So this guy, when I played with him, was a funny dude. He was like an awkward funny. It was kind of interesting. Um, but he was pretty much who I really started to look back at a lot of moments. There were a lot of like key moments. It was never when I was creating the system, or more so when I stumbled on it. It was never a thing where I just eureka moment. I understood it all. It was always a series of revelations, and I've been slowly refining it basically ever since. But Atomic and Communism were two of the main people, along with Mektos as well. Buddy was another one. They were the main guys that essentially, when I watched them play, they had the half turn, and then from there I really started to look at the position and really kind of understand. And then as I grew as a player, um, I basically was able to replicate what they were doing, but only after I had essentially demoted from the rank, and after that, I just stopped wanting to really grind altogether. I just hated the toxicity that I was exposed to, and feeling as though that I had to be around that. Um, we could switch to player cam. That would be fucking fantastic. The feeling of having to be around that was really what burnt me out, you know. And I never wanted to have people exposed to that. Um, and I never, yeah, okay. So my mind's gonna go everywhere here now. That was a really close double. Okay, that's a bit ambitious from beast mode, but if you can land the 50 there, it's fine. So he's gonna cut since his teammate went all the way back, just force the 50. He's not trying to beat there. He's never really going to beat. I mean, defenders are going to beat you with pace here, and you could see that apparently Jack's going to rotate inside. So technically, he's second man right now. He's just covering the high on the wall in case his tackle is losing, and if it goes anywhere mid, then the third right here, first killer, is going to be the one that receives. So this is that 1 to 3 rotation that I talk about. So is this a layer? Not really. But the main point that I want to get to you guys is if you dive here, okay, this is a tournament. These guys have played in tournaments. They're very well seasoned and veterans when it comes to this. But a lot of low elo players, the low elo mistake is to just throw themselves at this, and it leads up essentially that when you boom this back, you're going to give it to apparently Jack, and apparently Jack is going to solo play. He's going to force defenders out, or pass the first killer, and then you're in the same spot. First killer is going to double touch and score. Maybe at this angle, probably not. If anything, he's just going to beat defenders. It's going to be very awkward, like kind of like a Zugzwang chess position. So we want to avoid that as much as possible. Let me bring out Rocket League draw board so that you guys have a reference that essentially, you got somewhere in offense like this, a position, right? You got here, you got a parent jack. It's actually the opposite, right? It's actually that they're blue team, right? But essentially, if you force this out, right, and you dive hard at this, which you don't want to. You don't want to dive hard. You just want to force the flick, and then that's it, right? But if you dive hard, now you're going to land here, right? And then inevitably, when that clear comes in, sometimes maybe you're able to link up if they're looking for that. But most of the time, it's going to be the defenders, at least in this position. Not to say that booming it into your first is a bad thing. It's just not appropriate yet. Okay, so but this boom is going to come. Apparently, Jack is gonna throw it back, and he's going to either link up with first killer, who's right here, who's creeping, or he's going to solo play it and look for a flip reset. And these players are mechanical enough that they're going to be able to force you out. So this is something what we want to avoid. So it's essentially you're having to play that 1v1 into apparently Jack here and covering the shot and or pass that could come in. It's very awkward, right? So he could beat you, and then in that case, you're on your back foot. Two guys just dove. Maybe one of you recover in time, But I mean, again, you're on your back foot. So all of that happens from this one fucking movement that happens here. Okay, all of that happens. It's literally. This is why I say, right? So technically they're role swapping. So where normally it would be, beast mode that would take second man, since he's going all the way back for boost, you need to have your third man cut. So normally where beast mode would go up for this, I tell people do not hard dive for that reason. Okay, high level players are going to absolutely destroy you, and ranked, you're not going to really deal with it. And in ranked, when I go and I post my POV videos of me explaining this and going, okay, you put me in a bad position here, 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 I just get a shitload of comments that are just like, you know, hey, you need to wave dash if you're low or whatever the fuck. I mean, it's just the stupidest, most uneducated shit, and people are just flaming me saying, oh, but this guy, you shouldn't watch him because he is just shitting on his teammates, and I love when fucking emotional players cry. Okay, this is the shit that I'm dealing with. But for those who want to know the technicalities of what's really going on here, it's basically this is a very, very awkward position if you dive at it. Do not fucking dive at it. Just check two. That's what he did. He checked two, where you kind of, you go like this at him. You know what I mean? Like if we were playing in soccer, I would do like a fake step in just to force your movement, right? And once I get a force out, it helps me to know, because I can't hard dive as a defender, because it's just like the tackles normally I'm going to get beat anyway, right? And it's way easier to just force people into corners while you're in position and you have a controlled position rather than just flailing yourself out of those. You know, it's the same exact thing in soccer. In soccer, they really teach you, high-level coaches like Tim Mulqueen, they teach you don't fucking hard dive. Way better to just maintain your position, right? Force them into unfavorable, you know, sideline positions where you can eventually corner and trap them, and then you move out. It's the same in Rocket League. I'm going to tell you that we're going to be more on that. We're already fucking, what? What is this? 10 minutes. 10 minutes. I had to explain all that. That's fucking crazy. That's more like 5 minutes of explaining. Okay, so he's going to run right side close. He's going to run a third man contract. Okay, that's a little weird. It's a little troll there. I could have been, I feel like that was definitely a wasted opportunity from running the contract there. Okay, so he opts out. Daniel with the recovery. Okay, so he's going to hit pads. That's a little lucky that the boost spawn. So now he's second to beast mode. So it's a check two, right? If not, maybe you can look mid. It really depends. He could definitely look mid, since Daniel decided that instead of rotating, you know, all you need to see is a name tag. You know, so if I'm rotating back in this position, right, all I need to see is this, right? Where's Daniel going? Is he going back here or back here? Okay, so if he's going back here, that means that I technically am left side zones of responsibility. I cover that, and I run a third man contract / flex. I can do whatever, right? Since Chronic looks like he's going to beat here and he's in this position, he's probably going to look to receive since Daniel is right here. So that's probably what's going to happen. If it's a 50, then you're going to look to maybe tackle because they're in an awkward spot. First killer's on the wall. You don't have it. All you need to see is a name tag and kind of where they're pointed, and then you can kind of say, oh, okay, I have time. I can go for this. You know what I mean? It's not like it's just a 0.25 second little decision that you could just see. You know, take a quick look at your monitor, see, okay, they're a little awkward, I can go. You know, so these players, they look fast, but it's just the A or B kind of decision here. So, you know, in most cases, what you're going to deal with is they're going to rotate like this, and they're going to rotate out. They're going to look to play behind you. So in that case, you look to receive the clear, right, and then boom it back, right, or receive it into your corner and then play out, or you know, this hits mid, and then you're checking into mid. You know, that's what you're looking for. So let's see what happens. So the 50 is a clear beat. So now we get the confirmation, right? He's going to look to boom it back. And here's that 1 to 3. This is what I talk about. So he's able to land that over. They barely land the thing here. This is a very dangerous position right here. Apparently Jack is way in no man's land here, honestly. He should not be pushing out. I've seen him do this. I saw him do this with a replay with Adam when I was doing a replay session with his team, and they were talking about what was going on. So now the boom back happens, right? Now you can link up with his first, and this is when it's okay to do it, because this is when it's okay to play into that clear into the first man. Earlier, I said you don't want to do it yet because that position was covered by whoever was on the wall. But here, yes, you can. And you just want to put it in the kind of in the general space and then allow the first man to pretty much be able to handle it from there forward. So you could play shot or pass. It looked like he went for shot at a crazy angle, right? So he's just going to force it. Happens to land there. He's going to be 0, though. He's playing for beat. That's okay. They could handshake the 50. It's not much that's going to materialize here. XD, as I say that, and they almost fucking landed top shelf shot. That is really weird. This is a really weird rotation from Atomic. I'm going to leave this on, this bottom border on. I know this is, I don't want to spoil it though. You know, this is kind of weird. Nothing should really materialize from this at all, you know, and I think apparently Jack did a donut here. So this should have been, apparently Jack should 100%. Yeah, once he landed here, he should have waited here, and then played the bounce. So that was really troll, honestly. I'm seeing a lot of mistakes here from apparently Jack. Really small positional errors that lead into some really, really tough shots that they haven't quite punished yet. You know, it honestly kind of looks like a mess. He's going to run a layer here. Perfect. Nice. Okay, so that leaves beast mode right here into the 1v1, and they gain possession until he recovers, basically. Okay, so now we're good. Okay, so now he's going to rotate out. No demos. Yep, beast mode. I'm telling you, you guys are never going to land demos on these players. They have too much awareness. You know, plays into the 1, opts for the double because it's not working out. Now he's playing second to first. Second to first killer, but also second to first technically, right? That also works. Where is the sideline guy? What happened to him? Apparently Jack and first killer. Okay, first killer goes. Where's Chronic? Where did Chronic go? Okay, so he has 20. So he's completely 0. Okay, so he's going to go for boost here. It's really unfortunate right here that he doesn't get any pads. You need at least 3 to be comfortable, because this is a very awkward position that he should have been in right there. So he should have basically been beating beast mode off of this bounce if he would have stayed in the position. Although it's kind of a gamble because you don't want to risk it. That's the spectator bug right there. So I really think he should have rotated on a pad here, pad, and then looked around. He would have been here right about now, and then he'd be here. And now you could just kind of do a check too. If they win it, then yeah. And then you could just kind of wait, and now he'd be on it. You know what I mean? So going for boost there is more like the safe play, you know, and anything, it just lands at 50, but that could have definitely been a shot. But, you know, you're not, this is a hindsight is 2020 thing. That is 100%. That is a hindsight is 2020. Why are they getting scored on there? That is really fucking weird. Okay, why is he doing backwards? Apparently Jack, backwards. Okay, so he came off his line. So he's rotated too far in. Now he's making it backwards 50. You're always going to get beat, guys. They're gonna destroy you. You got to come around here. Wait for pinch. Second to here. Play front post. Right, come up. Right, and then just cover the angle. And then cross your fingers a little bit. But it's going to be a hell of a lot better than what he did, because Atomic could just play the over and slot it right there. But you're going to be in a better position if you do what I showed you right there, which is essentially don't cross that fucking front post line. Okay, so if you know a shot is coming in and you're playing second to Chronic on your sustained offense, this is what I call a sustained offense at that point, right? And it's a little unfavorable for you in that your first man is having to make making a square 50 rather than putting it forward, right? So that's unfavorable. But what do you do when you're second man? Well, you never come across this line. You never come off this, because you're going to be playing basically off that square 50. There's a second man that's going to rotate onto that bounce, and he's going to look to shoot, which is exactly what's happened here. And so you don't want to over-rotate and then be backwards and then having to make a turn and go like that. That's a troll. You don't want that. That's basically dead. That's death at this point. You know, so you want to avoid that. You want to come here and you want to play shadow right there to that 50. That's what you want to do. And you want to force it over you. Always force it over. Right? Unless you do this, and then you just get destroyed. If you look at Atomic's POV, it's probably much easier. Yeah, he just saw him. Yeah, he just saw him go up, and he was like, "Oh, okay, I'm just gonna early shoot it." You know, if you don't early shoot it, well, then he's just gonna wait with the flip reset right here and hold it up until you do dive, and then he's gonna destroy you. So, I mean, it's a checkmating position right here. Looks like we're only gonna do one game. I don't want to sit here and do all 4. Oh, what is this movement? Everyone's in no man's land here. Okay, they land the clear. Apparently Jack is the 1 to 3. Perfect. That's what you're looking to do. Right, this is good. Yep, force it off. 1 to 3 rotates. Beast mode lands the clear. They handshake the 50, so now it's technically even. Okay, now he's third man. Apparently Jack running another layer. Okay. Yeah, you're never gonna beat him to that, which forces him in a defensive posture. Could have been really dangerous for if Daniel was going to be able to land a beat, but the clear didn't go that way. So they get to equalize now. If you're confused on any of these movements that I'm talking about, you can type in 1 to 3 rotation or importance of a diagonal mirror. Okay, that actually has exactly that's a movement where I talk about exactly what you need to do in those positions in order to prevent massive counterattacks. You know, which will happen. So importance of a diagonal mirror, first to third. That's another one, first to third. You can look up slow second man. Also, I have a couple videos on how to play second man. Okay, first killer. What the fuck happened here? Yeah, you got your third man. So two people are up on their fucking wall, and you got our third that's sitting in their fucking side of the net. Of course you're getting fucking destroyed, man. He got sucked out. Okay, he happens to be the pros. Okay, so he's third here, and this is a really, really tough thing. What I don't like is what I feel like apparently Jack should be doing is sitting here waiting right here for the ball to come into him. Okay, because if it spits mid and defense can't reach it, they will not reach it. Okay, if it spits mid. Okay, so if it spits mid, first killer is going to be on it. If it spits here, it's going to go right into apparently Jack. And then at that point, what he can do is he can link up with first killer that's right here, or he could play the bounce, depending on if their second man on the wall is awkward, right? And he could play the over on him for them to exploit the back post, right defense, right? And if that's covered, well then, you know, they're going to play the over. The second man relieves that essentially, and their third man goes and plays the bounce right here and plays for the clear. You know, so it's like a bunch of like mini check marks. Like, is your front post is covered? Yes. Ching. Okay, well, as an attacker, maybe your back post isn't open, right? So let's check that. And they kind of just handshake it, right? Okay, we're going to run this play. We're going to play the over in the second man. We're going to play it above the wall here for first killer to go. Okay, third man landed clear, right? It's just a bunch of mini check marks. So in this position, apparently Jack running a 50 like it's going to be a Jesus 50 that's going to land right into him is totally troll. I don't advocate this. This is a layering system. This doesn't work. This doesn't work because a lot of the times what's going to happen is you're going to have your 1 to 3 that's here, and then this 50 is going to go behind into the sideline anyway, and then they're going to chase after it, and then you're landing a square 50 into a second man who's now rotating in, and then you end up with a backwards, you know, you're rotating in basically, just like what happened with Atomic and apparently Jack, where, you know, like that same play, Atomic is going to be there right on the wall, and he's going to look to shoot, and you're on your back foot. You know, it's completely unfavorable. That is, it's literally a checkmate at that point. So what you want to do at that point to avoid that is play your second man here, look to play, right? Look for a shot or pass, right? Start overloading defenders, force them out to make decisions, right? And if they want to cover pass, then you go for shot, something like that, right? You keep forcing them out, and it adds immense stress onto that defense, okay? But playing as though you're going to make Jesus 50s and him just fucking going for this demo is so fucking stupid troll. And guys, look, you comment on my stuff, right? When I mean, look at, here's a pro in a tournament getting sucked out because he's third man, and in his brain, the spacing is that he plays like this if he's second. He even gets caught with this. And you guys will troll. Like, I get comments in my stuff that say, you should have just been back when you're playing third. You should. Yes, that's what I do anyway. I'm aware. Here's a fucking pro in a tournament doing the exact same thing. I don't fucking suck. Okay, this isn't a thing where you're just going to constantly comment on my fucking profile and do this stuff. Here's a fucking example of that's exactly that happening, where this happens all the time. It really, your teammates enable you. Your teammates enable you because subconsciously you have it in your head how your spacing needs to be, and if they don't fucking do that right, it's going to be very awkward. It's going to be very awkward. It's going to lead into positions that happen just like this, you know? This is so fucking stupid. I mean, it's not, he's not putting anybody out here. He's trying to run a pick play on a defender that's already out of the play. Jesus. I don't think apparently Jack is a bad player at all. I feel like his decisions are absolutely fucking troll right now. I think mechanically I feel like he's really, really good, but these decisions that he's making are just so fucking Monka-esque, and they put so much stress on the back line. Damn, Chronic. Nice demo, though. Okay, yeah, so he's going to opt for the 50. That's fine. Yep. That's a bump there. That is crazy. Okay, forces the over. Really good. It's really favorable. Gonna land the 50. Wow. Very aggressive. He's playing a 1 to 3. Decides to cut. Chronic want to dive. Okay, yeah, force the over. Look for demos. If he lands demos on his guy. Okay, yeah, so now that's favorable. Before it was just a handshake. Okay, yeah, playing second. Dodge demo. A little bit caught out now. It's gonna be a little awkward. 50 goes right into the net. Apparently Jack got caught out. Now, is that the fault of really anybody? Not really. I mean, the tackle's just unfavorable. I'm not going to say, first of all, I truly believe he was out here, but it's not like he should have been front post. It's okay to be out a little bit. You just want to avoid 50-50s like that. You know, that's worst case scenario. Is 50-50s just popping straight into your net. Okay. No boost here, so he should give it to his teammate. He's going to cut in right there. Yep. So now he waits. He gets bumped out. That's fine. Third man takes over. Yep. Now he's going to play second to him, but dodge the demo. Right. He's just covering net. Perfect. Yep. Now you play second and dodge demo. First man rotated out on attacker. So now he can push out a little bit. Right? So you don't want to push out quite yet because you want to avoid demo. So that's what he's looking for right here. And that's what the swivel is. So he sees that. He gets confirmation. Sees that Chronic is beating Daniel onto this. Right? And so apparently Jack is coming out when, this could be basically going back in. So Daniel could be very well winning this. You're not sure yet. And apparently Jack coming out, it's like, first of all, Chronic is onto this, but he's going to take a touch, right, onto here, and then maybe look to play out. But could Daniel 50 here? Yes. 50 here. Yes, he could. So why are we pushing out from apparently Jack? Another troll thing. He likes to run layers, man. It's putting a lot of stress on him.
Another concept I forgot to mention is simply that you pushing out a front post as second man reduces your reaction time when this ball comes into you. So if the first man Chronic here loses the 50-50 and Daniel doesn't respect the aerial from Chronic and just tackles him, it's going to roll backwards. Now, most of the time, your first man isn't going to come in from this angle like we saw in this game to take possession of the ball, but it's a very real scenario that this ball rolls backwards after the tackle and goes back into you. And we don't want to push so far out that now we're doing a donut and then crossing the field on our own net because we pushed up too far, because that runs right into the teeth of the offense who are ready to tackle you and usually leads into many more problems than if you just wait for the ball to come into you and then you play out of your corner. It's way better that in that case you just playing second man on front post is much safer, and then if the attackers opt to go into the midfield, they're going to run into your defensive 1-3. Playing out of your own corner is much, much safer.
Is this why they got fucking... This is why G2 absolutely fucking destroyed him. It's a good double from him. Low boost. The mid boost didn't spawn, so it's really unfortunate. Apparently Jack running a layer. You're never going to beat that defensive 1-3, bro. First of all, it should be Chronic's ball right here. He should be doing a check 2 movement, right? This is linking up, but he's not. So now Chronic is going to fix his line, pop this into the corner, right? Take a touch. Beautiful. So now he's got to play the 2v1. That's how you outplay the 2v1 right there. Very difficult. Mechanically, it's a lot of stress. A lot of the time, it's going to be very difficult to do. Apparently, Jack should not be doing that. He should not be doing what he's doing. It's putting a lot of stress on a Chronic in the back line. Okay, yeah, 1-3 tackle, handshake 50, right? That's how you do it. You don't force the second man out. You don't force the second man out, right, all the way back from your backfield, right, in order to tackle this guy, apparently Jack, that's going on here. Okay, let me draw it because I'm using my hands, okay? You don't want to force second man out in a position that's like this to tackle their guy because he's your matchup. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is sustained offense. First man rotates out. Everyone's going to shift over like this, right? And what you want to do is this. This guy cuts in, right? And then you handshake the 50. Maybe it goes straight down, or if not, it goes into you. And then at that point, he rotates out. Right, and maybe you look for a close drop or shot or maybe a double touch, right? You don't want to do the, but the reason I'm stating this is just because this is an example of the handshake that's going to occur. You're going to see Atomic here. Was he? Okay, yeah. So he's right. He was technically right side zone, opts to play wide. Yeah. So he's not running a layer because he's not the second man. He was the first to third. Or actually, this is a transition to defense. Yeah, so he's the third. He's a right side zone. That's decided to play contract. Daniel's second. Okay. So yeah. So it's the same concept. Same player assignment. Lands a perfect tackle. Very good. Chain dash was a very close call. Okay, why is that free? That should be... There should be somebody up that ass. Oh, he went mid. That's why. So he should have been here. Right? Because that clear could be anywhere. Right? Covering mid, no, not bad. Not a bad decision. Honestly, covering mid was fine. I don't blame him because it's landing right there. Yeah. So he made the right decision. Yeah, so it's just kind of played out that way. Really unfortunate though. Okay, first killer landing the bump. You could see him. So first killer was going to land the bump. It led to a 2v1 right here because Beast Mode technically ran a layer. I don't think he meant to do that on accident, but because first killer is literally just doing a check 2 movement, just his presence being there forces, what's his name? Forces Daniel in a really weird spot. Okay, so it forces Daniel in a really weird spot. At that point, Chronic can doomsy it and just win the 50. So, that's an example of your 1-3 rotation out. Just simply you being there is a lot that, you could kind of just do a check 2 movement and it forces them to get their shit together. And if they don't have it together, it's going to force positions like that with Daniel. So just putting together your system, if you guys are mentally building it in your head right now and getting these decisions down, you don't have to do anything crazy. You just follow the fucking rules verbatim on what I'm telling you guys, and it's going to work out. Handshake the 50, right? Wow. Okay, so apparently Jack left the ball here on the 50. Just decided to go for boost. That's greedy. So now it forces a 1v1 right here, which at that point, instead of apparently Jack winning this 50 and then just putting it straight back over Daniel, now he could force a defender out from first killer. That's no bueno. He has to now tackle through the second man, so win the 2v1 in order to equalize, which doesn't. Beast mode lands I was going to be a favorable thing from him. And now they get, kill time. Game's over. Okay, that'll be it. That's my replay for the day. Replay session. Maybe we do more of these, honestly. There's a lot of information, though. Lots of good stuff. I think Gen.G, they actually sweep them in the series. Or no. Yeah, G2 sweep them in the series. It's because, dude, apparently Jack, he keeps fucking running these layers, man. It's killing me. It's killing me. It just puts, you guys can just see examples. And it's like, oh, they're RCS champion. You're fucking CR up. No, guys. It just puts a lot of stress on your backline. There's other ways to do this, and there's other ways to execute exactly what he's talking about that are much, much easier, and they do exactly what he wants to do. There's an easier method to do this. So, peace and out. Much love.